Hey there, it's the Submissive Next Door with your host, Dr. K. Go grab a drink, kick back, and let's get kinky. Hello, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Submissive Next Door podcast. I'm your host, Dr. K. And wow, it has been quite a week. It has been, wow, my hair is like crazy today. Sorry. Anyway, so it has been a week, and I wanted to take a minute to talk to you guys about it, because that's what we do, right? We chit chat. So we're gonna chit chat for a minute. Um, yeah, this week has been a little bit crazy, and for those of you who aren't as familiar with what is going on in the world at the moment, the world is a little bit crazy. And I mean, yeah, right. OF decided to change up their terms of service. As a lot of you probably know, if you are an OF gal out there, you probably know all of this, right? I chatted a little tiny bit about it on Twitch today. I'm trying to get my Twitch channel up and going, so if you can, go ahead, jump on. I am going to be doing some chit chats. I'm going to try to do dailies, but for sure on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 o'clock Pacific time, I'm going to be on there and being able just to do some AMAs and just do some chit chat and some gameplay. I'm going to be playing Radiance. I'm also in the process of getting a PC, a gaming PC, so that I can play Sims. One of my followers suggested Sims, and I thought that was fantastic. So I'm very excited about playing that. I haven't played that in a minute. I remember when The Sims was brand new, and it was like the newest thing. Everybody was addicted to it. Like, you had all these hacks and codes that you could put in to make your Sims do kind of goofy stuff, right? I remember just everyone was lost in that game. So I'm kind of excited to get to play that again. And but anyway, so back to the whole OF thing. I'm moving over to Twitch to do a lot of my lives, primarily because it's a little bit safer there, but also in case you haven't noticed, I lost my IG. I lost my entire Instagram account, almost 800 pieces of content for the last year or so. I've been putting on there and building up, and it's all gone. It's every bit of it is just roasted, toasted, and fried to a crisp. It's no longer, and I lost my appeal. The funny thing is, right before it happened, I had done a live, and I was in good standing, guys. I was in absolutely good standing, and this is what pisses me off about it. And then I'm going to stop whining about it, I promise, because c'est la vie. But I had done a live, and someone had asked me about my OnlyFans, and all I said was that I had one. I usually use the term forbidden sight, and I slipped up and I used the words OnlyFans. And that was maybe that was what did it. I don't know. That was the only thing different I can think of that I had done lately. I had gotten nailed for a really bogus copyright violation on a song by Katy Perry. And the song was Teenage Dream. It was hers. It was actually on the platform. It was on Instagram's platform, and you can go there right now. Like, you can go in there and search for a specific song, search for the audio, like go into, and you can get there from going to Reels and then doing a quick little search for the music to use in your reel, and you can locate Katy Perry song. The crappy part is that the song, you see, like, it says from Katy Perry, it's from Katy Perry. You can go in and see 1,000 and some odd other videos that use that same song in it, that you can hear it, like, it's fine. But the user image is not there. So it looks like maybe this was a song that maybe she lost, like, for whatever reason. Maybe she doesn't have the rights on Instagram for it. But you can use it on TikTok. You can use it on other things. Anyway, I had made a video and had using the platform, using that song from Katy Perry, and I got nailed for a copyright violation, saying that I was trying to use the song Katy Perry, Teenage Dream, and it was causing a copyright violation. And so I was like, but I wrote in, I created like this whole ticket, and I put in all my evidence to show, no, this song is in your platform. This is her song. I created this whole video. It was a dance to this song in the platform. and I lost it. And I still to this day don't understand it. I appealed it twice and lost it twice. So something is kind of up with that. I don't understand at all, like any of that. But anyway, so I had that violation that went against me. I had gotten nailed, I think, for 8 or 9 other ones in the past year. Not all at once, but over a year's period. And all of them I had appealed and won, except for one of them, which was a podcast. I had posted a picture of my podcast episode, and the term snuggle pupping, which was a term for making out in the 1930s, was nailed for sexual, explicit whatever, and I couldn't use it. So I had lost that one. So out of the 10 or so violations that I had over a year's course, I had appealed all of them. I won 8, lost 2. And the only thing that has happened recently is I accidentally said I had an OnlyFans instead of saying the forbidden site on a live. So I don't know if any of that means anything. I don't know if it was maybe a bot had gone into the OnlyFans hashtag on Instagram and just decided to nail anybody and everybody that was located there. I don't know what it was on my account that violated anything. They have not come forward and told me anything. They never do, right? They just say, oh, for sexual activity or for, spamming or for whatever. This one didn't even say that. I tried to log in and I couldn't log in. And that was it. The account was just gone. And yeah, then about a day later, I got the ability to do an appeal, which I lost. So that is that. That is why I am now rebuilding my Instagram. I immediately, I just kind of took a deep breath and was like, okay, this is what it is. This is happening. We're going to roll with this. And I created a brand new one. I lost 14,000 followers, which if anybody who's ever tried to create an account and get followers on Instagram, you all know how hard that is. Just to get that, like getting 1,000 was insane to me way back in the day. And hitting 14,000. And that was a lot of it was because there was a draw from TikTok. People were following me over to Instagram because my TikTok was getting nailed so much. So now I've gone from having my shit getting nailed like crazy on TikTok to I can't post much there. So I've had to go into the cosplay world. I'm doing a lot more cosplays now. Cosplay seems to be okay. And from the research that I've done and from talking to other gals and whatnot that that are within this world, either the sexual world of some sort, whether they're a educator or they are a dancer or they are, hell, a belly dancer even, any kind of, where your body matters, right? Any industry where your body matters, you can get nailed real hard on these platforms. So anyway, people were following me from TikTok to Instagram. Now my Instagram is gone and I'm like, well, fuck. What the fuck am I going to do now? So it's been a little bit crazy. And a lot of us creators, thankfully, have, I had to go and find everybody again. I had to go and hunt down everybody. And because I'm a brand new account, like no one knows who I am. So I just created the sub next door. So the.sub.next.door. Or 2.0. So the sub next door 2.0. That, and I'm going to link it and everything in the podcast so you guys can check it out there. But that's what I'm trying to grow right now. So if y'all could, I'm going to do that shameless little plug. If y'all could go on there, follow, like, I would absolutely appreciate it. I'm trying very hard, y'all, to just stay below the radar. And it's like, no matter what you do, man, no matter what the fuck you do, you get hit with something, it feels like. So all of this happens, right? We're going to go down the list of shit this week. I'm normally a very positive person. You all know that. I can find positivity. I can find that silver lining in just about anything for anybody. And that is like, it's the one thing that I've always felt really good about myself for. And, I don't know. I like to make people smile. If I can put somebody at ease, if I can make them feel comforted for a second, coming from somebody who has lived in anxiety and lived in some pretty crazy situations, sometimes, that one person, even though there's somebody on the other side of a screen, knowing that person cares enough about you to have made that video and said, you matter to them. That's something I can give to somebody else, even that one other person that needs it. That's worth it to me. And so wanting to do that so badly and then getting shut down left and right by social media is like, you bastards, you don't want me to be nice to people. This is awful. People, it's like social media just wants to reward the assholes and the trolls of the world, people who want to rip others down, and that's okay. But anyway, so the point is, if you can go give me a like, give me some love, I'd really, really appreciate it. I'm doing my best to keep content coming. I am still at it. I'm still creating new content. Then, since IG went down right afterwards, this whole announcement with OnlyFans happens. And this whole thing with OnlyFans was like, what the fuck, man? Like, we're gonna get real. Like, this is my podcast is like the one place where y'all can really get the candid version of me. I can't be candid anywhere else, but my fucking podcast, god damn it, this is my podcast. I'm going to be candid about it. So here we go. OnlyFans is deciding to do what they're doing. They're removing sexually explicit content from their platform for really good reason, and I understand it. That doesn't mean I'm happy about it. It doesn't mean it doesn't affect me. In fact, it affects me hard, and it affects a lot of other creators. So probably some of your favorite creators, it affects them the hardest, because most of our research, our ability to do, kink education and workshops and provide sex ed, and a lot of us do have spicy accountant stuff that go along with it. We believe in sexuality, we believe in sexual freedom, we believe in sexual liberation, and that is something that a lot of us do enjoy, and that's why we have it, so that it's out of the public's eye, so that if you want to see it, it's there, you can go to it. But we don't promote it everywhere, all over the place. In a way, we try to give innuendos that it exists, but we never ever post it where it's just in your face. And there are, of course, those that do, and you, unfortunately, that social media police don't like it, so you don't see them around very often. I thought I'd been doing a fairly good job of remaining under the radar, but apparently not. But anyway, so OF decides to change their terms of service and makes their announcement, and the reason being that the credit card companies, Visa and MasterCard, they do not approve. If you need more research, I post this everywhere about the C.S.E. stuff. C.S.E. is, there's a lot to it. It gets into the weeds, so I'm going to just point you directly to those places to get the down and dirty details about really what it is and what it means, what these policies and whatnot actually stand for, and what the background information is on them. But essentially, it's very anti-sex. It's very anti body positivity, anti kind of, just, in my opinion, just anti pleasure altogether. And it's very, very sad. So the credit card companies will not support or allow or they won't process credit card payments, which everybody has a Visa and a MasterCard, right? So they won't process the payments. So how do you make money? You can't on the platform. So because the credit card companies pulled their support, they the only other way that it could possibly work is to get rid of do what they say, right? So OF made the very shrewd business decision that, okay, we are going to fail, we're going to fall if we can't process credit card payments, so that content has to go. And I don't think they were even expecting the amount of backlash that they got, which to me in my mind seems really, it does not make sense to me that they didn't know how much of their followers and how much of their content is within a certain realm. If they didn't know that, I mean, they have to fucking know that. Like, this just blows my mind that they did this to begin with, that they are going to pull all of the support for the people that built their entire company. Like, for real. That was the reason that OnlyFans was what it was. It was so mainstream. It was in magazines, it was in Women's Day, for God's sake. It was in Rolling Stones. There was a whole Rolling Stone article, column about it. People use it. It's not the crazy idea that people used to think that it was, when the panini happened, everybody went indoors. Everybody had to created new ways to reach out to each other in candid ways. We couldn't go see our friends to talk the way we wanted to talk. People created OnlyFans. People couldn't go, to certain types of adult entertainment places anymore. They went on OnlyFans. And it gave the creators, like, there was a level of ethics that was involved there, because now the creators were not relying on other means of agencies, of magazines, of all of these other media platforms that were really taking a crap ton of their money. I mean, some of these platforms were charging, 30, 40% just to provide them a place to host their stuff. They weren't doing anything else beyond that. And in fact, most of the platforms that did charge those abhorrent amount of money were really, really cruddy platforms, like clunky and not very good. And you felt kind of shady just for being there, right? Not really my cup of tea. And I was really impressed with OnlyFans because there was a certain level of class that sort of went along with it, in my opinion. And I say class because it gave the it gave the creator all of the power in the world to create the brand that they wanted to make the money that they feel is necessary, that their stuff is truly worth. And being able to charge what you feel you're worth is a very empowering thing. It That's why I called all of mine, it was ethical. It was ethical content. I was the one in control of that. That was my choice. I wasn't having to follow the token exchange rate that another website was making me have to do. And there was I don't know. Anyway, so that was why the whole OnlyFans thing was such a huge deal. And now that that's being taken away, and now the only content that they will allow is like tasteful nudes and lewds. There is not going to be any ability to do much custom content anymore. A lot of, that was custom content was where a lot of models were making the majority of their money, being able to charge. You have your paywall, which is access to your content, and then there was typically video, and everyone was different. Like, everyone had their own methods, and that's what made it such a beautiful place, right? Everybody could decide for themselves what they wanted. A lot of other content would be for sale, and then they would have a free account where they could just put up, for people that didn't want to have to do the subscription service, and they just wanted to kind of get a sneak peek of what could be there. That's what the freebie side was for, and more of like a la carte kind of content, versus going to and getting your subscription. That's like your VIP, you get your all access pass sort of thing. So there was a lot of ability there. There was a lot of room for improvement, for sure. I saw it. I think a lot of people did. But it gave space for creators and for models and for men, women, trans, intersex, everybody to make a space for themselves. That's what it was so exciting about it. That was the thing. And then they do this. So the drawback, of course, is lives are going to be a lot of women that I knew, particularly women who did a lot of lives on there. You can't do the types of content that you used to. I don't even know what really the parameters are necessarily going to be now. So some people I knew were doing, like, for example, cooking segments that were nude cooking. Is that going to be allowed? Because that's not technically sexual explicit. There is no sex involved. It's cooking naked. So is that going to be deemed appropriate because it is, tasteful nudes, or what? I can see there being a lot of space for people to get creative in what they can and can't do. Should we, I shouldn't say should we, but what is going to be allowed and what isn't? That's going to be the next big question. And then for those that really, like, a lot of my content was or is, of course, I have my fun, my super spice stuff, but a lot of it is also the nudes and lewds and things like that, and very tasteful modeling projects that I've put together. And I very Playboy-esque. In a lot of ways, I always really admired Playboy because there was a level of class that went along with that, and I really liked, honestly, like, I just really enjoyed Playboy myself. So I go for a lot of that sort of thing, the glamorization of the shots and things. as well as other stuff, right? Like there's other stuff there too, but that's my cup of tea. That's really my jam, is the pinup style stuff. And I don't know, like, it's are people going to continue going there for that? Um, or are they going to go other places because, well, if everything is housed someplace else and you get everything, and OF, it just becomes this very tight knit, sort of nude lewd picture magazine style thing. Like people aren't necessarily going to want to pay for both of those, right? um so I can see there being a lot of rethinking. OF did make an announcement on their Twitter that they were going to, that they didn't want to discredit the sex workers of the world, that they didn't want to leave them high and dry, that they wanted to know that they were valued, that they still valued the sex worker community, and so on and so forth. It's like, well, it's a little late for that. I can see a lot of people not wanting to even bother with them after this, because this lost trust for a lot of people, as if there wasn't already a low level of trust in OF because of a lot of their money management aspects of things. Um, it just becomes more and more convoluted as you go. So now we get into the weeds of the tech side of stuff. So here's what I have been doing. Actually, what Big Daddy and I both have been doing. We have been doing a lot of platform testing over the last couple of days, and I have tested probably 6 or 7 different platforms in their entirety, from every aspect of the use cases that I can think of. From the user side of things, for like somebody who's brand new that doesn't have an account, somebody that's created an account, as well as the management side and the creator side. What does all of that look like? So we ran through different use cases, and I say use cases, I'm gonna get real technical with y'all. Like, for those of you who know, in my previous life, before the Panini hit, I was the director of educational technology for a global corporation, and a very large portion of my job was doing testing of platforms in their entirety, doing QA testing on a lot of it, trying to figure out where the breaking points were inside the platforms, what could be done, what couldn't be done, if there are any holes, if there's any leaks or anything like that, if there's glitches or problems or bugs, we want to know about it. So that was my job, or at least a large component of it for the first year of that job, trying to figure out what platforms were the best and what ones were the worst and why. So I pulled a lot of my old stuff out, and my skill set, and started plugging away on these platforms immediately. And I had heard about Fansly from a couple of other TikTokers, and the Fansly one looked great. You can definitely tell they've got like a very OF kind of vibe. You can totally see like there's a very kind of fuck you kind of going on there. But anyway, so their platform, right from the get-go, I was really impressed with it. And I've tried the other ones. I was on the Hub a long time ago. That I took down all of my content when I moved over to OF, and canceled my hub stuff. And I've since created a new one, and there's a couple of little things that are sitting there, nothing fantastical or anything like that. But I found out that with the hub, the drawback, of course, being they're in the midst of dealing with all this credit card nonsense as well. So they do have an aspect to them that allows for fan club, which is locked content. However, their fan club cannot be paid. Their fan club at this point, if you are charging people for their fan club, it just doesn't work right now. I don't even know really if you can sign up for somebody's fan club at the moment, because they have no way to process any of the payments for their customers to have access to it. So they're doing the cryptocurrency. I believe they're moving towards cryptocurrency for probably just about everything, I would imagine. But yeah, they're dealing with that same kind of nonsense, and I don't know what their roadmap looks like as to when they're going to be able to support credit card payments for the fan club, or if they're even going to release the ability to have payment for fan club. So, the hub's drawback is everything's free. All that they offer is ad share revenue. So their ad share revenue is very similar to YouTube, right? Like you can go on there, and depending on how long people are watching your content for, and there's so many ads that are being played, you get, a few cents here and there for that. And you have to have a shit ton of content and a shit ton of views to actually be able to make a living at it. So it becomes like a residual income, great. But if you are putting in the production to do long form videos, um, you lose out on an awful lot. So I'm not a big fan of them. I'm probably not going to be using them for anything, because it's not the platform for me. Um, so anyway, so there's the hub. You also have FanCentro. FanCentro is another one, and Findrow. FanCentro and Findrow were two others that I had played with a little bit in the past, but hadn't really done a whole lot with. Digging in a little bit deeper and playing with them, both Big Daddy and I did, sat there on the tech side of things and tried to figure out where the breaking points were, what was really good about it, what was bad about it, how easy is it to create content and upload it quickly. Once you're uploaded, what are the editing abilities, what are the permissions, how drilled down can you get your permissions and things like that. So FanCentro has a lot of ability. If you've ever heard of them in the past, it was really like I called it like a digital lock. It basically allowed a platform to hold on to your Snapchat username. Like you would create a Snapchat or an Instagram that was private, and then you only allow people that have purchased access through FanCentro to have access to those types of things. Drawback being you have to manually manage all of that for yourself. You get the list, whenever you get a subscriber, and then you wait for them to try to add you, or you go on and add them. And then you have to keep, up on that. So if they stop paying, you have to remember to go in and kick them off your account. That's a lot of management, and that was why I never went that route. It just didn't make any sense to me. And I didn't want to do like directs or anything like that. Like I'm doing a lot of, if I want to wear a sexy piece of lingerie, I don't want to have to sit here and go through all of this just to be able to wear it and post it, right? Like it just is ridiculous to me. So I use Snapchat. I have a public Snapchat, but it's very much like meant to just be a little bit spicier than maybe what you would see on Instagram, maybe more in line with like the Twitter type of content. Really just because I liked it. I liked it and I liked having fun with it. It was a quick way to do little clips and to get information out there, say, hey, I'm about to jump on a live, I'm about to do this. And having that there was just a good way to do that. So that was that's that. Um, FanCentro has since grown and they have changed quite a bit. They actually contacted me to ask if I needed any assistance on migrating my content from OF over to their platform. So they do offer migration, which is awesome. And if you have 500 plus pieces of content, it's absolutely worth it. Very, very cool service. They also offer now the ability to do feeds. They have stories, or the equivalent of what a story would be. They have premium stories, which if you're on Patreon, then you've seen like the lenses. That's similar. It's a story, right? So you can drill things down a little bit deeper than that, and that's pretty cool, right? Like that's a fun little piece. They also have a Twitter integration, so you can automatically let Twitter know that you've just posted something, so on and so forth. The drawback to them is it's a little cumbersome. I'll be totally honest. It's a little bit like their UI has some optimization that they could really be doing on there, and there's a lot of little pieces. It's not quite as easy to do everything from the phone. There's a lot of information you have to plug in. There's tagging that you have to do. There's just a lot that goes into uploading. Which isn't like I say a lot. It's really not a lot. It's more like there's a few extra buttons, there's a few extra fields you have to fill out. But when you're trying to sit there and you're trying to work on uploading content or preloading your content for the week, all of those extra steps add up. That's an extra hour out of your time sometimes just trying to get a piece of content ready to upload. I don't want to have to do that. OnlyFans made it very easy. You just pop your information there. It worked the same way as IG, right? You have your picture, or you have your clip or your video, and you put in your information, your little caption, and you upload. It's easy. Which brings me to Pocket Stars. Actually, we'll talk about Findrow first. So Findrow was another one. I made an account on there just to test the platform, and Findrow was okay. I've heard a lot of bad things about it, though. I'm not a big super fan of how cumbersome their albums versus pictures situation is. Seemed like every time I went to upload a picture or a series of picture, it would upload an album, and I would have to go in and archive that album because it was like an empty album that was just made for no reason. There is a lot of bugs that are a part of that platform, which I don't want to deal with bugs. I don't I dealt with enough bugs in my old life. I don't want to deal with bugs now. That isn't my job. So um I'm not a big fan of Findrow, and I will not be using them again because of that reason. Now we will talk about the other one. So Pocket Stars was the one of my first choices. Um and it lost out for only one reason for not being my first choice now, because it was a big contender there for number one. Pocket Stars is easy, it's quick, it is seamless, it is very optimized, it is mobile optimized. It looks great on iPad, it looks great on a Mac, it looks great on PC, and it looks great on phone. I literally sat here and tested it on every one of those things, specifically looking for, okay, how does it change? Does something, does one field show up on one type of device versus another? Like, doing all of that testing so that no matter where I am, what I'm doing, if I feel like uploading something, how hard is it going to be for me if I don't have my phone on me and I need to grab my iPad? How hard is it going to be to just do it from the computer if I'm just sitting here? Um, all those things run through our minds. So that's what we're doing. Pocket Stars made it very easy as well to create tiers, to create, I shouldn't say tiers, to create different, what do they call them? Basically like your subscription packages and things like that, similar to tiers. They allowed some drilling down, which is great, but not as much drilling down as I would have liked. They don't give you as many abilities as Fansly does in terms of allowing certain content to be seen by everybody, like a public piece, versus content that is allowed to be seen only by followers, as well as the content that's by subscribers. And you can also, like, we'll get into a little bit on Fansly here as well. So Fansly reminds me of Instagram, OnlyFans, and PH if they all got together and had a baby. It's like the hybrid version of that. Like PH, if you've ever done anything on the back end side of it, the admin side, you get that long ass menu, right? And there's like a million things to it. Half the stuff you don't ever need and you don't ever like go into, but a good chunk of it you do. This has like all the stuff that you actually need. And it's not too much, but it's in a very similar layout with your menus. And then you go in a little bit deeper and you can create different types of tiers. And your tiers can be like maybe you have monthly subscription packages and you have tier one for a monthly, and you have tier two for a monthly, and tier three. Maybe tier one is just pictures, tier two is including videos, tier three is like access to everything in my past vault or whatever. So you have like monthlies for that. And then you can do 3 months at a time, all the way up, I think, to 5 months at a time. I don't think they go above 5 months subscriptions. So you get a large amount of ability to configure very specific groups for what it is that they want. And I could see maybe a model that does multiple things, but maybe they have a very large audience that are just gamers. And then you have an audience that wants like everything, then some. So maybe they have a gaming tier that only gives them access to Discord and their Twitch and stuff. And then you have another group that gets access to that and everything else. So you have two different tiers, but they're both monthlies. That's some serious drilling down that you can do in being able to create customized packages for your specific audience. So I thought that was really, really cool. Big Daddy and I are keeping things pretty simple. We wanted just to honor everything that our OF people had, and being able to provide them, the same content, but knowing that we're going to have to go in there and gut a lot of the content that we previously had. I feel awful that the content that my subscribers have paid for, that they're going to lose, because half of it, I don't know whether or not it technically meets the requirements or whatever. So for example, does a full nude, if I'm standing there in my bedroom versus standing in a photography studio, does one constitute tasteful nudity versus the other one is considered sexually explicit because I'm in my bedroom? Like, I don't know what the terms are really going to truly allow, because they don't give you enough information for specifics and examples. So just like, I'm just going to move everything over, and I'm going to continue having OF for certain things and still providing some images and pictures and things like that on there. But in terms of everything else, I feel awful for my fans. So We ended up opting to do basically just giving them a uh, free account to migrate over, and some extra special goodies and gifts when they migrate over. And then we're going to be probably gutting some of the content where some of it's just really old, and quite frankly, it's from so long ago that I'm just ashamed at the low level of photography and professional quality that it is, because they were shot, before I really gotten into learning about lighting and learning about angles and things like that. So I'm probably going to not bring everything over, but my fans needs an opportunity to create something really incredible and professional and tasteful, and of the quality that I really envisioned for it. So there are some good aspects there. The other nice thing about Fansly, I will absolutely give them props for this, is it creates community. There is the ability for people to have followers as well as subscribers, so you no longer have to have two separate accounts. And you can still do the same type of thing where if you have subscribers, you can still do paper messages on there, which is cool. Um, and you can drill it down to be like, this pay-per-view message is only for people who both follow and subscribe to me, or you can set it up to be one or the other, and you can set it up even to have specific price points for a subscriber versus a price point for somebody who's only a follower. So you can give maybe a discount to somebody who is a subscriber versus somebody who is just following you. There's just so much ability there, and it's not difficult. We didn't find it difficult. We found it very user friendly. We found it very optimized. It's like, I don't know, they actually listened to the people who are going to be using this thing and thought about their needs and their desires and what would make the user experience easy for them. What a concept. Beautifully done, people. So I'm very gushy about it. I really am happy with Fansly and what they've been able to do. Their support team has been phenomenal. They have already addressed, the talks about cryptocurrency and things like that. And the reason why they're able to do, I think, what they're doing, and why I think even Pocket Stars does it this way, and why they're able to do it, is they went the route of something similar to, like, if you've ever been on Chatterbait, or on the hub or whatever, you see that you have to purchase a certain amount of tokens, for example, to be able to add or give to the creator. And that's how you pay for your things, is through this digital wallet or this digital means of tokens, or basically similar to cryptocurrency, but it's like the website's version, their own currency for the website. So on Fansly, people, your subscribers would purchase money for their wallet, their digital wallet that they would use within Fansly, and from that digital wallet, they're able to subscribe to their creators. So it it's one extra step, which is a bummer that in this world we need, but that's how that's the way you do it. But it's I think we'll just have to sit and see, and watch and see how things progress, and if they are going to put the hammer down on these companies next. I hope that they don't. I hope that these companies have a good legal team that is working hard and through the night to ensure that everybody is protected and they're within compliance of everything. But so far, from what I've seen, with my limited knowledge that I have on just platform testing and platform knowledge, they certainly seem to be doing things right, and I'm very, very impressed with it. So if you guys are interested, I do have a referral code. The referral code is if you decide to go in, and it's not referring you to me, it's referring if you wanted to create an account on there just in general. You can create an account and just test it out and see what it's like. I could see it being very similar to a kind of a Facebook version of FET in a way. To be totally honest, like, since you can have followers and you can just have an account, you can even drill it down so much to allow who is allowed to have permission to comment on a post. So if you don't want followers, you only want your subscribers to be able to comment, but you want everybody to be able to see the content. You can do that too. So there's just a lot of cool features and bells and whistles that go along with it. The landing page was easy to set up. The information was easy to get approval and to or I should say it was easy to get approved, to get signed up. All of the information that they've provided so far in terms of user guides and abilities and help and whatnot has been phenomenal. I don't know. I can see them being a very strong competitor to OF, and I think a lot of people are going to go to Fansly just because of this whole mess that OF did. It was a nightmare. So I wanted to do a whole podcast episode about this because there really was just so much that kind of goes into it, and giving you guys the background information of what people are kind of going through and why this whole thing was such a big mess. Seeing on Twitter and seeing so many people get shamed for, now, oh, all these OF girls, now they got to go get real jobs and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, number one, they're not all girls. A lot of them are, all genders. And this is the livelihood for many of us, for many creators. TikTok doesn't pay you, they pay you a couple of cents for, every, 50,000 views that you get. You're lucky if you have 100,000, followers on there, you might get like $30 a month. It's enough for a meal in LA for yourself once a month, but it's nothing that you can actually live on. So you see all of these great, giant, big productions and whatnot. That's marketing for somebody. That's not like what they're making their money on, is not that. But they do rely on the support of people that enjoy seeing that sort of content. You want to see more of it. Always support your creators, support your favorite creators. This is time and energy and our existence that we're pouring into this, to create a little entertainment and a little positivity, or provide information to the world. It's important stuff. That is equally as important. I actually just had a conversation with somebody about this, that being a content creator is very much almost like modern day humanities. If you think about, when I majored in liberal arts in in my first couple of years of college, and my associate's degree is in liberal arts. Essentially, it's the degree, I called it the degree that I got because I didn't know what degree I wanted. It was kind of like an all-encompassing degree. It was filled with humanities and English and art history and things like that. And it's those things are so important. And it was such a bummer to find out like there's so limited amount of jobs and careers within those fields that don't pay you enough to make a living necessarily on, but you do it because of the passion and because of the love for it, right? You don't become an artist because you're going to make $1,000,000 at it. You become an artist because that is something that is meaningful to you, and it's a passion, and people feel something when they are a part of that. And being a TikToker, being a YouTuber, being a podcaster, being a model, being even a sex worker, all of it, that is, to me, that's modern day humanities, because you're providing either entertainment or something of passion to the world that doesn't necessarily there's not like a plethora of it out there. It's unique, it's one of a kind, it's you're giving your parts of yourself to the world in some way. That's a beautiful thing. So anyway, these platforms are allowing the use of that, and I wanted to give you guys that overview, in case you are still looking and you're trying to find it. Just for Fans is another one that is out there and doing some things. I know that Just for Fans has kind of an interesting option for like health benefits. Like it's a weird kind of back end thing. Like you can get like health insurance on there or something, I heard. I haven't looked into it too deeply, but that's just that was what I heard about it. I've also heard though that Just for Fans is a little bit cumbersome, and I think their pay split is a little bit less creator friendly. So Fansly is the same as OF, so it's 80/20. So the platform gets 20% of any transaction, and the creator gets the other 80%, which is still some of the highest in the industry, which is really incredible. Short of running your own website altogether, that's you can't get much better than that. There are some other ones that I did look into that weren't quite as, I think, classy. Like Fansly has a classy feel to me. I don't know why, but it does. It has a very classy feel. There's ones like Nudies that I think Viking Barbie, she has her stuff on Nudies, and it's meant to be for particular types of corn stars out there that have very large followings, in the upwards of millions. and you have to do a lot of work, and it's similar to an agency essentially, and they don't take everybody. They take only a very small percentage of applications. um, I'm not a big fan of agencies like that, even though they have some of the most beautiful women, that work for them, and they certainly have the production value is there. I do think that they take a little bit of advantage of some. So these other platforms, yes, it is more work, but you own your rights. You are in control. It is, there's a lot better stuff there. What else? What were the other platforms? I think those are the main ones that I had been doing the most search on. I did see though that Twitter, of all things, Twitter also has an interesting concept going where if you have over 10,000 followers, you can create subscription content through Twitter itself. So it becomes like you get access to pay-per-view messages, I think. Um, I don't have 10,000 followers on Twitter yet, so I don't know what is all about it. I don't know what the terms of service are for it. I would imagine them to be liberal because, well, look what you're allowed to do on Twitter. Like you can post anything you want just about on Twitter, within reason. In terms of like showing your body and showing certain things. Um, you can do whatever you want. It's a free for all for the most part. Same thing with Reddit, right? So I think that's going to be an interesting one to see just kind of what happens with it. They also have ticketed spaces. So spaces, if you're on Clubhouse, I'm on Clubhouse. If you get a chance, go and follow me on there. I'm Dr. K, Sex Educator, on Clubhouse. But so on Clubhouse, it's like live podcasting. And I've even thought about utilizing Clubhouse for just this type of thing, like doing a once a week live stage podcast where I can have others come up on stage and talk with me, share questions, share comments and concerns, and just have like an open forum, sort of a discussion space. To me, that also feels very much like an open office hour. So I think that maybe that's what is my draw to it. It kind of, I live in professor land most of the time. So having an open office hour to me feels really good. I think that the spaces on Twitter, I've seen them a couple of times in action, and it's identical to Clubhouse, the same sort of concept. You don't see anybody, it's not film, it's just listening. And you can sell, tickets to it. Again, like I can see it being of a lot of value for people who are sharing a lot of information, for people that are doing education and whatnot like that. So I could see myself utilizing it for that in the future, maybe for like a live discussion on roles within the kink world, or a live discussion on types of submissives or something. But I don't think I could see it being utilized for like, you know, any other type of spicy content necessarily. Maybe, I don't know, possibly. Ear licking is like a huge thing, I guess, on Twitch. So there's so much ASMR on Twitch, which is awesome. It just always strikes me really, like, it's funny to me that the top ones in ASMR are these gorgeous, drop down gorgeous women that are licking ear mics. I love ear mics, and I want one really bad. They're super pricey. They're like $700 for a good set of ears, as a mic. And these women are just like going at it, like just full on tongue down into the ear canal, the whole bit. And I like it, but I don't know if I could do it and it sound as fun. I feel like I would just sound messy and sloppy. So I don't know. Maybe that's a future thing. It could be. But anyway, so if you guys get a chance, follow me on Twitch. Come and hang out with me on there. I can't wait to be doing lives on there more often. I was in the process of moving everybody over to be able to do the lives there more often, and then I lost my account. So it's been definitely a week. On top of all that, I got a sunburn, which was really bad. I actually went into the tanning salon. I joined a tanning salon, and the guy told me, "Oh yeah, come back in a couple of days. You'll be totally ready. You can do it again." And this guy that set me up, I don't think he set up my machine quite right. I laid down and I was only in there for 10 minutes. I'm still dealing with like the whole peeling stage, and I only burned from here down, and I did not have bottoms on. So you can imagine the fun of having a sunburn. I'll say it, my nether regions were totally sunburned, and I've been dealing with that for a week. So fun times, right? Um, oh God, it's just been a day. Anyway, so on the next podcast, I'm going to be talking a lot about some fun stuff. We're going to talk about blowjobs, number one. And then number two, we are going to talk about some fun things, the funny things that you have to laugh at about yourself or when you're with a partner, like the funniest stuff that happens in the bedroom during sexy fun times. I've got a couple of stories that I think would be really fun, and I would really love it if you guys could DM me. Let me know what are some of your stories, like that one story that you and your partner look back on and you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe like that just happened. I've got some, and these are my favorite stories. Like these are always the best. So if you guys got any, send them my way. You can go ahead and DM me. You can send them to drk@kippany.life. That's my email, so you're welcome to use that. I would really, really love it, guys. So, and yeah, hey, if you see me, I'm still making TikToks. I'm still doing it all. I just am doing them on my new accounts everywhere. And please, yeah, go give them a shout out, go give them a like, some love, and all that good stuff. I'm going to be having more merch dropping very soon as well. I'm excited about that. The merch side of things takes me a little bit of time because it's a lot of graphics, and I make all my own graphics. So I actually, if you go onto my Twitch, you can see I have a new little graphic up there. I've been playing with it. Twitch is still definitely a work in progress, so please bear with me while I continue to work at it. But definitely, go and check it out. I was really super proud of my little graphic on there. It's very 90s, and that's kind of that's gonna be my little thing is 90s jams and 90s fun. So anyway, please stay happy, stay healthy, stay kinky, stay hydrated, stay all the things. Oh, and of course my phone is going off. Sorry guys. Please give us some love out there, the creators. We are doing the best that we can while we roll with the punches, as we always are, and we certainly appreciate all your support, all of your love. Please check out the Patreon if you get a chance as well. If you are a subscriber and you help support the podcast, you get some freebies. I'm going to be active on there as well. A lot of my content that probably could stay up on OnlyFans, I'm not going to keep on OnlyFans. I'm likely going to be moving it over to Patreon because at least their terms of service I understand. Yeah, they're a little bit kinder over there because they give you more information, which is always nice. And it sucks that as an artist who really like, the human body is a beautiful thing to me, and I totally understand and respect that it is not as it's not as a well accepted idea across the board for many people, which is why we have paywalls and things like that. We just wish that it was a little bit more easy to let people know it exists without offending everybody in the process. So with that, continue having a great day. If you are an OnlyFans girl and you are trying to migrate, or you have questions about any of these platforms, obviously I don't work for any of these platforms. I am not an affiliate with any of these platforms. This is truly just my take on it, just through my technology brain, through my basically platform tech brain or lens, I should say. There we go. I was looking for that word, lens. I'm just giving you guys my feedback on what I've seen on it. And if you guys, if you find stuff that works even better, if you guys have other platforms that you know about that you really like, please let me know. I love to play around and just try to figure things out and pick things apart. I'm very much that sort of brain. So I would really, really love to hear that. Yeah, have a great rest of your week, and have, I don't know what that was. So with that, I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.